Hi, in this video I want to show you an approach of how to analyze your embeddings. But why might you even want to do this? You need embeddings when you got your own data source and want to use it together with OpenAI or any other language model. You use embeddings to make a similarity search and get the most similar data back and put it as context into the prompt for the LLM. When your embeddings are bad or just don't separate categories enough, you might end up with the wrong context. Okay, but embeddings are high dimensional, 1536 dimensions to be exactly. So one approach might be to perform a principal component analysis on each vector to reduce the dimensions to 3. These 3 dimensions can now be visualized. And now you can take a look at your embeddings. I will show you how to do this. Okay, I'm here in VS Code, and as you can see I've got 3 files, a .env file which contains my OpenAI API key, an embeddings.ipython notebook which contains all of the code, and a questions.csv file. Here we've got 3 columns: category, question and answer, and some content for each of the columns. So we're gonna read in the data and make the PCA on the embeddings which will be created. After doing this in the IPython notebook, I will show you an approach with a package, and you can install this with pip install. But first let's do it here in the notebook. So first we're gonna load it here. So now we've got our API key, and then we read in the questions.csv file. As we can see, now we've got a pandas data frame with category, question and answer. So we've also got some missing values which we have to replace or just drop the column before we do the embeddings. Here again we can just print the columns. These are the same as before. And now we want to get all of the categories first. So for each category we want a different color than in the plot. So we've got 5 different categories: ambience, dish, ingredients, opening times and restaurant. Okay, first we're gonna drop then the missing values here. And then we've got a data frame without missing values. Okay, then we will import the getEmbeddings function from embeddings util from the OpenAI package and create a vector for each of the rows in the answer column here of the data frame, which will result in a matrix with a lot of different values. Okay, after it's done, let's just take a look at the matrix here, how it looks like. So this is the matrix. As you can see, a lot of different numbers here now. And now we want to perform the principal component analysis to reduce the numbers from 1536 to just 3 dimensions. And we're gonna do this with scikit-learn. So we have to install that first and import the PCA class. And here we have to tell the PCA class how many dimensions we want to have for each row. So we're gonna instantiate it, and then we transform the matrix to another matrix. And after creating the matrix here with the reduced dimensions, we're gonna create a new column in the data frame called embeddings. Okay, now we've done everything to just perform the data visualization, and we use Plotly because Plotly allows us to make the visualization interactive. So we first gonna, I guess I have to import NumPy here. Import NumPy as NP. Okay, so now we're first gonna create a figure, and now we loop over each category, which are the unique values here of the category column. And we will perform the calculation of a subset, so a submatrix for each of the categories. And then we will add it here on the figure we created here and add a scatter plot. So we use a different color for each of the categories, and then at the end we will just visualize it here with the show command of the class. So let's run this, and this should create a new plot in 3 dimensions now. Okay, now we can just take a look at the visualization. We can zoom in, and as we can see, for example, here are all of the values, and the categories should cluster in a space. For example, opening times is here on the right, and the ingredients are here on the bottom. So the separations of the embeddings works pretty nice, but some of the embeddings are clumped up, so it might potentially lead to an error, or we will get an error here. But in general, the embeddings look pretty nice. So if all of our embeddings are clumped up in one space, the answers or the questions in our CSV file might not be suitable to create actually the context for the LLM. Because changing a single word or something might lead to a different context for the LLM, and that's not what we want. Okay, that was the notebook. I will now show you the package and you can install it with pip install embeddings visualizer, and this should now install the package from PyPy. Okay, as you can see, we've now installed the embeddings visualizer package, and this is a CLI tool, and you can abbreviate it with EV. And if you type in EV ---- help, you get all of the options here. With EV init, it will initialize a new setup. And as you can see, we also have to provide if you want to do it here with OpenAI or if you want to do it with Azure. So we're gonna provide the value OpenAI here, and this will normally create an .env file, but we already have one, so it won't create another file. But we get an app.py, and in this app.py, this is a Streamlit application, and this helps us to visualize the data even more easily. So now we can run, if we take a look at the commands again, so now we can run ev start app, and this will now start a server on localhost on 8501. Okay, and this is what it looks like here on localhost. We can just import a CSV file here. For example, here we just import the questions, and then we can say we want to drop the NA values, and we also want to drop duplicated rows to not create embeddings twice. And we also have to pass in the delimiter here, but for me it's a semicolon, and then we can change or choose the category column here, and also the answer column. And now we can see we've got 19 rows after filtering, and then we just click on compute embeddings, and this will create a plot for us. So as we can see, this is our same embeddings plot as before, and we also got a nice table here where we can actually see the embeddings after the PCA was performed. So we've got 3 values here, and each of it is visualized here on the left. So before you ask and want to know who is the maintainer and creator of the package, this is actually me. It was just a test. But if you are interested in how to create a package with poetry, let me know in the comments. I could easily do a tutorial about this. So if you liked the video, feel free to subscribe to my channel and like the video, of course. Thank you very much. See you. Bye bye.